Welcome back to Talkin Too Much with Hanna O'Reilly. I'm Hanna O'Reilly, and this is episode 25. I feel like 25 is like a huge deal. And I don't have balloons. Nobody sent me a cake yet. I'm sure it's in the mail. But like, should I be doing something big for this episode? Like, I got a new Anthropology candle, if that counts. My fave, so we're in a good mood. I just lit her. I got her at Anthropology. Dylan got her for me. Okay, shout out. He knows this one's my favorite. Goji Tarocco Orange. It is so good. Okay. I see this episode 25 going up in flames if I hold that any longer. Okay, guys, first off, I want to mention, I was so honored to see that Talkin Too Much podcast made it to people's Spotify Wraps. Like, that really, really meant the world to me. People were sending me like what their top 5 podcasts were for 2025. And to see Talkin Too Much up there with like Call Her Daddy, Girls Gotta Eat, The Morning Toast, like I was like, this is incredible. Like I really, really was I was smiling, I was beaming. That whole day I was beaming. Everybody that texted me, messaged me, like it really, really meant the world just to see that. I mean, this podcast started in June. So to see that we made it onto people's top 5 for the year and I haven't even done this for a full year is just so cool. So I really, really want to let you guys know I am so appreciative. Also this year, YouTube did some sort of like a wrapped, like a 2025 year recap. And it was cool to also see that we made it onto that list as well, because I usually go on YouTube for a lot of podcasts, especially if I like to watch them. And so the fact that YouTube is kind of in on the game too, and I got to see that it was just so, so cool to see. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I'm excited for next year. Like it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. And this is huge. So, I cannot believe, like it actually makes me sick that Christmas is in 2 weeks. My friend and I send voice memos every Monday and she messaged me and she's like, 2 weeks till Christmas. I'm like, God, what? I just digested the turkey. Like, what are we talking about? I'm like actually overwhelmed. And I do this thing where I feel so chaotic up here. And it's like, if I just write down what I need to do, and I have a Google Calendar, okay? I live my life by my Google Calendar. But like those like day-to-day tasks, like even down to like laundry, empty the dishwasher, like things like that. I need to write it down because sometimes it's not as overwhelming as it feels. Like I'll write it down, it'll be like 2 things. I'm like, okay, we got to grow up. This is pathetic. So thinking about Christmas being in 2 weeks, like I can't even wrap my head around it. Anyway, one day at a time. Also, and I'm always talking about social media on here. I always say like, oh, I need a break from social media, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I have a good balance on it right now, but it definitely is kind of crazy how your chaotic day can feel even worse when you're on social media, because now you're like, oh, I not only have to worry about what I have going on, but I'm so worried about what everyone else has going on. And now I can't differentiate what's chaotic just because of my stuff or what's chaotic because of everybody else's stuff. So, I'm in a good place with it. Like I'm not on it too much. I've been pretty busy. I think that's why it's key to stay busy. So I've been so caught up in myself. Great. And I think a lot of times, especially with being forward facing for my job or my podcast, my own personal brand, things like that, like I am always thinking about what everyone else is doing, or like just thinking about like future situations that like haven't happened yet. And I'm like, what am I doing? One day at a time, stay present. Like, let's go. Also, I will say this, like every day, like I'm constantly thinking about, I want this to take off. I would love to make it big with this. Like, I would love to be successful with this podcast. And, come on, let's be honest. Like, of course. But here's the thing. I say, of course, I want to be successful with this podcast. Of course, I would love to see how far this podcast can go and like put all my time and energy into it and yada, yada, yada. And then there's like these people I see online and they're like, I don't even care. No, like, I don't even care. Girl, be so for real. Like, you think I'm sitting here every day? Like, obviously, I have a great time. I do it for you guys, like, who is listening and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I'm putting so much time and energy into this. Of course I want it to be successful. Like, what are you kidding me? But there's people that I think they like to pretend that they don't want to make it big or be successful with things like this, almost as a way to protect themselves. And then it almost comes across weird if you admit that you want to be successful. Like, yeah, no kidding. I'm out here hustling. Like, what do you think? You think I'm just doing this for the heck of it? You think I'm packing that Google Calendar for no reason? Editing, being up late at night, editing this podcast just for funsies? No, of course I want to be successful. Like, what? And like, now there's a difference between like every single day worrying, am I going to be successful with this? And beating myself up if things don't go the way I want or numbers don't hit the way I want. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like I don't want this to be a well-known podcast. Like, duh, hello. Like, it's too much work for this to just be a hobby. Sorry. Maybe for some people it is. I mean, more power to you. But, honey, I got to be making money off this one day. Now, I will say, I have changed my mindset. So a lot of times I think when you're trying to build a brand and do these things, it's very much like becomes me. Like I want my thing to do well. I want me to go out and do all, like, it's very I, because it's weird because there's a brand, but you're also an individual. So it happens. That's why, like, celebrities are pitching themselves. Like, you're pitching your talents. I don't know. It's just a very interesting world, and you have to kind of walk this fine line of, like, not being so self-absorbed, but also advocating for yourself and wanting the best for yourself and being honest and being like, yeah, I want myself to be successful. My podcast, my thing. It's weird, okay? But I was watching, so Raven and her wife from That's So Raven had, how many Ravens do you know? Like, Raven is Raven. I feel like that's the beauty of Raven. Like, Raven has made it big because she's just Raven. Like, you don't even need to put the Simone. Her and her wife Miranda have a podcast called Tea Time with Raven and Miranda. Okay, that was a mouthful. Why did I butcher that? Sorry, Raven. Sorry, Miss Simone, if you're watching this. So they had an episode with Yvette Nicole Brown. I think I'm saying Yvette, right? It's like Yveette. And she is the one from Drake and Josh who's like, that is not my job. You know, if you know, you know. And she was on there and she was talking about how her mindset really shifted where she doesn't walk into a room anymore and like, what can I get from this opportunity? Now, obviously there needs to be some level of that. Like, you are putting yourself out there to walk away with something that can help you in the future, right? But she said she really walks into rooms now and is like, who am I meant to meet in this room? Whose day am I supposed to make better by being there? And she shifted this into becoming about other people. So when she goes into an audition, if she doesn't get it, she's like, who on the casting crew am I supposed to make laugh today? Or put in a better mood or remind them why they have this job or why they're in this industry. And I'm like, that is such a good way to think about it. And she's like, it has changed her whole being. Like, she doesn't get as nervous anymore. She's not as overwhelmed because she's like, I'm here for other people. I'm not here for me. And it takes that pressure off of you and makes it about everybody else. And I just thought that was great. So that's kind of been in my head a lot recently. I'm like, even like day-to-day things, like this doesn't have to be like your podcast or you're auditioning for a show or whatever. Like, oh, you have to run to the grocery store for a last minute thing, like, which nobody wants to do, especially when the sun sets at 3:00 and it's so cold out. But if you almost put it in your head, like, who am I supposed to meet at this grocery store today? What cashier am I supposed to make smile today? It really kind of makes things a little bit more fun. It's like a little bit of a game. And I don't know. I think that's like a new thing I'm going to do with myself. Like, who am I here to see? Whose day am I going to make better? So that's really been sticking out in my head a lot recently. And, it's interesting. So then I started thinking about like just the industry of like entertainment. And it's tough because it's easy for people to say, oh my gosh, they're so obsessed with themselves or they love themselves or whatever. First off, of course you love yourself. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't love yourself, who else will? Like, hello. it's kind of all about how you approach it, I guess. And things are going to get looked at weird. Like, people are going to always look at celebrities or, people with a platform as like, oh my gosh, they're so self-absorbed. They're so this, that, and the other. It's like, that's their career. Like, that is their thing. But so I started thinking then about celebrities in Hollywood and all this stuff. I think a lot of times people who aren't in the industry are part of the problem. Like, there is this weird parasocial relationship that people have with celebrities that is so mind-boggling to me. The line is so blurred, and I'm like, you are that obsessed with another individual? It's one thing to be a fan and enjoy someone's art and like their music, their comedy. Like, of course, like we all have those couple celebrities that it's like, oh my gosh, I love their stuff. Like, it's super cool. Then there's those mentally ill people that really, really take it to a different level. And I'm like, what? What are we doing? We've lost the plot. I think I saw a lot of this behavior when the Wicked movie came out, for sure. And like, then it was like fresh on my head. Like, the way people have just become so obsessed with these celebrities. I saw Ariana Grande, right, going around at some movie premiere signing autographs, right? This one girl sticks her arm out, says, "Can you please sign my arm? I'm then going to get a tattoo of whatever you write." Girl, that is weird. That is weird. I'm sorry. I am not getting another person who doesn't know me's signature on my arm and then getting a tattoo of it. Like, too far. I think that's too far. This like obsession and this like celebrities, they don't know you. They're signing their stuff and they're moving on. I also noticed this a lot when The Summer I Turned Pretty came out. Like, that people were taking things to such a level with like, are you Team Jeremiah or Team Conrad? That like the real life human beings were getting such hate and death threats about a show. I'm like, guys, please, like, this is so embarrassing. Like, what are you doing? It's just a show. Like, people ruin it. I'm like, okay, this is like, you're a freak. Sorry, you're a freak for acting this way. If you can't find the balance between the two, maybe you shouldn't be watching the shows or listening to the music or being a fan. Like, it's really scary. Or, another thing I see online a lot is people who pretend to be other celebrities. Like, they change their facial structure, they change their hair, they change their fashion to become famous because they're a lookalike to this celebrity. I see it a lot with Ariana Grande. I see it with Taylor Swift. Why are we changing the way we look to look like celebrities? Guys, like that, you've got to know that there's something wrong there, right? You're copying Taylor Swift's outfits, you're copying Ariana Grande's outfits, and you are only famous because people think you look like the character. Like, you're not well known because of something you've done or produced or who you are as a person. Like, you've got to feel a little empty about that, right? What's going on here? What is going on here? So people sobbing when they meet a celebrity, sobbing when I'm like, what? It's just another human being like you and I. And like, I have respect for people who have the talent. They get to the next level. Like, go. I'll root you on. If I start sobbing, I gotta go check myself in somewhere. I'm sorry. Like, maybe that's just me. I cannot be out here sobbing about this. Like, what the heck? This obsession with celebrities and politicians and like the blurred line. Like, they don't care. They don't care. They want your money. They want your money. They want your votes. Blah, 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 blah. I will never put that much energy into a public figure like that. Yeah, of course, it's great if someone, like, at night, like, I'll pop on my favorite YouTubers. I have the girlies that I follow on social media, my comedians. But I'm not crossing that line into the point where I'm getting permanent ink on my arm with something they wrote. Guys, what? What are we doing? Anyway, so then I'm online yesterday and I'm seeing stuff popping up about Alex Earl. If you know Alex Earl, she's an influencer. Like, obviously, a lot of you know who Alex Earl is, but I'm sure I have some listeners who don't. Alex Earl is an influencer. She was just on Dancing with the Stars. Like, she honestly seems like such a cool girl. Like, I would love to hang with her. But I'm not getting her ink tattooed on my arm. Okay, so there's like these rumors going around that like her and her boyfriend broke up. He plays for the NFL. He plays for the NFL, and I think he's on the Dolphins. Like, again, like my knowledge only goes so far. Okay, at least I know that. I know enough to make conversation with people, you know? And I saw people saying, people think they broke up. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, did they break up? I'm looking at the comments, right, on this post. People are saying, well, I noticed he didn't post for their anniversary, but her birthday's in like 3 months. So I hope they put up a joint post together confirming that they're still together for her birthday. And like the person put like the date of her birthday and was like, I'll keep an eye on things. Like, huh? Guys, what? What even? Like, to even know that her birthday is that many months away and like you're going to be on standby wondering if the boyfriend's posting a happy birthday and then that'll confirm to us that they broke up. How is that changing your life at all? We watch her stuff because of her outfit. She's on the private jet. She's on Dancing with the Stars. What are you doing? This is like getting weird now. Like, if they broke up, she'll announce it and we'll all move on with our lives. Like, it's going to be okay. Then I see people, like, dissecting. Like, I think when she went on Dancing with the Stars, she realized she deserved better. And then she took a hard look at herself. What? How about take a hard look at yourself? I'm scared. Like, I'm sorry. It becomes a little crazy. Listen, again, I got my people that I like to follow. I watch the vlogs of people. I know some facts about some of these people that I shouldn't know. But when it gets to the level where we're on standby to see if the boyfriend's going to post for the girl's birthday and then it's going to confirm for us so that we could sleep better at night if they broke up or they're still together, you've taken it too far. Another thing I want to bring up, talk about the parasocial relationships with Hollywood. Disney adults, okay? All right. I'm seeing these videos. I think now that I've started watching them, like, this is all I'm getting fed now. People are going to Disney. Okay, these are like full-blown, like 30-plus-year-olds, okay? Going to Disney dressed as the character that they want to say hi to, and then sobbing when they meet the character. Girl, for all you know, that Minnie Mouse is just some man that just needs a paycheck. Like, you have no idea who's in that costume. What are we doing? What are we doing? When does it become mental illness? Like, truly, like, why is a Disney adult crying when they see the castle? Is no one going to acknowledge that? Like, what's going on here? We got to touch grass. We really got to touch grass. This obsession and this, like, not worrying about ourselves and our own stuff, all it is taking away from what's really going on inside of you. Like, you gotta be focused on yourself. That's when it's almost like better to be the celeb, better to be the public figure, because you're so in your own stuff and counting your own money and worrying about whatever you need to work on and your look and your family life and your friends' lives. Like, did we know this much about our family and friends? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. Also, I feel like with public figures, like, you only know what you see. Like, you don't actually know these people. You don't know their behind the scenes conversations with family and friends. Like, you're not with them in these, like, intimate moments. You know what you see on the big screen. You know what you see on the album or on social media. At the end of the day, you don't know this person. And $20, if you actually met the person in real life and were hanging with them for probably 30 minutes, you most likely wouldn't be friends. Okay? They wouldn't be friends with you. You wouldn't be friends with them. But at the end of the day, this is a business. And if it's making them money, they're happy. Now, do I think that's a way to live where you're almost like not being a genuine person anymore because you're just such a machine and such a business and you almost feed off of people being obsessed with your life? Like, that's when it also can become a little bizarre for the public figure. Like, now they're like feeding into it and they know the lore about themselves, but it's like, it's only lore that people know from the internet or from the movies. And it's like, might not even be accurate about who they are as a human being deep in their soul. And like, everyone's just saying things that are going to get headlines or going to get more money and then like you lose the plot on who you are. It's like, who even am I? Like, am I just saying things to like make people happy and like keep getting their money? Because I've seen celebrities speak out about things and they're like, if I would have said this, I would have lost so much money. So it like, they're just trying to keep all the fans at bay sometimes. And then when the fans take it to a whole new level, I just like sit back sometimes and I'm watching and I'm like, what? Guys, like, you don't even know if what they're saying is legit. Like, sorry. And of course, like, I know I'm sitting here saying like, I want my podcast to do well and I want to be a public figure and all that. But I also want to be a genuine person. So if I can make both work, great. If I can still be Hanna O'Reilly and make it in this world, awesome. But if I'm going to start losing myself, I actually prayed about this before. I was like, if I'm going to hit a point where it becomes like my growth becomes so toxic for my life, my family, my friends, and I like lose myself and like I'm just saying things to like get another paycheck or whatever, I don't want it. I'd rather just be sitting in my green chair in my living room with my Anthropology candle and just spitballing with you guys because this is what matters to me, you know, just being genuine than just saying things that is going to make everybody feel comfortable and just never saying what I actually feel. That's why, like, when I brought my faith up on this podcast, like, yeah, of course, it's like a little, whoa. And I was honest. I was like, I didn't bring it up for a little bit because there were moments where I felt like I should have, but I was afraid I was going to lose followers. And then I'm like, what am I doing? I nipped that real fast. Like, no, sorry. If I lose followers, I lose followers. If people want to still be on the journey with me, they can be on the journey with me of this podcast. If they don't like something I said, don't listen. Like, I cannot, the minute you start getting wishy-washy on who you are, you've lost it. You've lost it. And I see that happen with celebrities. Like, they're saying things in these press tours. I'm like, you can tell it's not genuine. I'm like, they just knew that was going to do well. They're not. I was listening to a podcast the other day, okay? And I'm not going to say who, what, where. It's not worth it. But they had a guest on. And when I tell you this guest could not form an opinion on even the smallest thing that was being asked, the internet has burned them so badly that they now don't know what to say. They've put almost all their faith into the internet and people and, analytics and like engagement, I should say, that they don't want to say anything that could cause them to lose that. I understand wanting to be careful and like you don't need to get messy. Like you don't need to answer questions you don't want to answer, like whatever. But like when these questions were like surface level, like, oh, do you think this top is cute? Like, well, I don't think it's for everyone, but I think personally, like maybe I would wear. And I was like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. And I'll catch myself doing it too. I'm like being a little too PC. And it's like, girl, just say it. Like, please. That's what people want. Like something with this parasocial relationship, but also the person on the other end of the parasocial relationship starting to lose themselves and not wanting to be honest and feeding into what fans want them to say. And then the fans getting angry on the other hand, if they don't say what the fans want them to say. I'm sorry. If a group of fans were coming after me with like pitchforks being like, you didn't say something about this, kick rocks. I cannot care about that. Like, you please, that is like, you are crossing a line. You are crossing a line. And that I'm just simply not going to put up with that here. Some of these celebrities completely go off the rails. They have lost themselves. They sold their soul to the industry. They're singing things in songs and in interviews that are just so dark and weird. I'm like, why would you ever put that out there? I even see that on like a little bit of a lower level with these influencers. Like, it's almost like who can say the thing with the most shock value? Who can really take this to the next level? And then I've seen like girls years later be like, yeah, I was saying things in interviews. Like, I would never do that. I would never act like that. Like, I don't know why I was saying that. I just knew that's what would get clicks and what people would want me to say. And it's like, how do you then go home at night? How do you go into your community knowing you said one thing online, but like then you're with these people in one-on-one situations, and like you know that wasn't actually you, and now there's like this weird, I don't know. I'm also like, are your families watching this? Like, what is going on? There are celebrities I can separate. Like, I like this song, right? Like, oh, I really like this song that this celebrity put out or this artist put out, whatever. And then, like, I see some of the stuff they're doing on tour. And, of course, this is going to come across like, oh, girl, you wish you were on tour. Yeah, of course, it's awesome. Like, you're selling out Madison Square Garden. But sometimes, like, I'm like, what did it take for them to get there? Like, why are they doing certain things on stage? And why are they wearing certain things? I don't know. I think it's awesome to, like, make it big and, like, protect your soul and stay true to your beliefs. And, like, If people in the industry or fans don't like that, so be it. Like, at least you can say at night you never lost yourself. And you know what really puts it into perspective when you see like those celebrity paparazzi shots and like the girl's just in like a hoodie and like Ugg boots, and I'm like, that looks like someone I would have went to high school with. Like, what? And now we got people sobbing? I think there's a difference between respecting the art, being a fan, loving the music, supporting them, like whatever, and then like you know every little detail about their life and you get angry when they don't acknowledge something that you want them to acknowledge, and now you've taken this to a really weird level where you're like waiting for their announcement on something, like, oh, did they break up with their boyfriend? Did the boyfriend break up with them? Oh, their birthday's coming up. It's like, they're not your friend. They don't know you. They could meet you. You could win passes to a meet and greet backstage, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to remember you after 5 minutes. Unless you make an absolute fool of yourself, then they'll remember you. If you're sobbing in their face. And sometimes I'm like, sometimes I wonder if the celebrity or artist meets these fans that are so obsessed. And if the celebrity's like, all right, cool your jets. Like, this is weird. This is really weird. Like, just be a normal person. Huh? Just say, love your work, love your stuff, like whatever. I don't know. I think I want to keep talking about celebrity culture because it's so intriguing to me, because on one hand, I love it. And on the other hand, I'm like, what goes on also with this Hollywood stuff? Why do some of these artists make such a drastic change? Like, their behavior becomes erratic. Like, the stuff they're now doing on tour is not what made them famous to begin with. It's almost like I can't help but think they almost have to do some of these things in order to stay relevant. Even these influencers online, I'm like, what is going on? Like, just be you, be chill, be like, in the words of Countess Luann, be cool. Don't be all like uncool. Okay? Guys, you're embarrassing us. Please. How about we take the energy we're putting into celebrity culture and this obsession with these people and wait? Why are we waiting by the phone for things? Like, when the album comes out, great. Listen to it, love it, drive around to it. I support you. But when you're really putting more time and energy into this other person, and you're not putting that same time or energy into yourself or the people in your life, that's when we got to look inward, babes. We gotta look inward. I do want to say I have fallen guilty to this before, okay? One night when I was younger, we were at the dinner table and my dad asked me to name the first 5 presidents and I couldn't do it. And then he asked me to name the Kardashians and I named all of them and their kids. And he said, you're now going to go up to your room and you're going to go study the presidents. Okay? And that was a lesson in touching grass. Okay? I fall guilty in this too. And I always say this, when I'm talking on the pod, I'm also talking to myself. Anyway, stay true to yourself. Like, produce the stuff you want to produce, follow the stuff you want to follow, but let's not get so caught in the weeds with everything. Okay. It's embarrassing. Also, I want to add, as much as I want to be a public figure and I put myself out there and I love when people tell me they listen to the pod, like, obviously, please keep telling me you listen to the pod. I love that. And like, of course, like, people know what I share online. Like, if I'm sharing it, like, people are going to know it, especially if you're listening. But if people then start doing a deep dive and are coming to me with stuff that like is like really crossing a line, I'm going to get freaked out. Okay? There's a balance. Please don't get to the level of where we all got to freak each other out. Okay? Let's just listen to the pod. Let's enjoy the stuff. I'm putting stuff out there, obviously, because I want people to consume it. But like, We don't got to get freaky, okay? We can keep it at a healthy level, a fun entertainment level, and then we shut our phones off and then we go back to our real lives. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let's talk too much again next week. Bye, guys.